yesterday, and now they must tangle with the #1 team in the nation, coming off its first loss this season. Welcome, everybody. Along with Coach Steve Lavin, I'm Brent Musburger. Pleasure to have you here. We think it's going to be very entertaining. A couple of storylines right off the top, Coach. #1, the Illini coming off that very tough loss at Ohio State, and Northwestern. Can they stay with this team?
Well, #1, just what the doctor ordered of you, Bruce Weber. A game here at the United Center where the Illini play very well. The house is painted orange. This is a core Illini who've been through a lot. A coaching change from Bill Self to Bruce Weber. Great success. Highly recruited out of high school. I think they'll respond razor sharp. In Northwestern, it's all about tempo. To have any chance for a David Goliath upset, they have to control tempo, deliberate pace. Watch for the Illini to try and pressure defense to disrupt that deliberate offense.
A couple of stars to keep an eye on. Mohammed Hashad for the Wildcats. He scored 17 in that win against the Wolverines. D. Brown, the Big Ten Player of the Year, and one of the leading candidates for national. They're the three-headed monster, if you will, of Illinois, Brown, Williams Head, and Northwestern will counter with Jenkins, Hashad, and Parker. And let us check in with the lady in pink today. Here's Erin Andrews. Erin?
Hey, Brent. Well, most of the Illini players that I spoke with said, considering the fact they just came off their first loss, this week has been very laid back. In fact, Darren Williams said the coaching staff and the sports information department did a very good job keeping the media off their back. And today, like Lavin mentioned, this place is painted orange and blue, and the media, they won't be able to keep them away from the Illini. How about this? 950 requests to get into the Big Ten tournament, most of them Illini press. That's a lot considering last year there was only 630 requests. Brent?
All right, Aaron. Bruce Weber, 7th year overall, 158 wins on his coaching resume. He learned at the heel of Gene Cady, who closed out his fabulous Purdue career with a loss here yesterday. And at the other side, Bill Carmody, 9 years as a head coach with 160 wins on his resume. 5th year at Northwestern, 68 and 79. And the Wildcats have won games in each of the last 3 Big Ten tournaments. And this Big Ten quarterfinal match is brought to you in high definition by Phillips. It is a colorful game as the Illini are wearing the orange, and of course Northwestern is decked out in the purple. The officials, they're led by one of the best. Ed Hightower is our referee. His umpires are Dan Christman and J.D. Collins, and we will get ready. Yesterday for Northwestern, if you were not with us, Vukasic got into early foul trouble. 2 quick fouls, sat out most of the first half, and then fouled out of the game in the second half, and really was not one of the Northwestern leaders. Wildcats were blown out early in Champaign, hung tough, trailed by only in that game, and then lost it by 10. The Illini with the first possession, and they missed their first 3-ball attempt. It's into Jenkins' hand. The one-time walk-on up in Evanston, who has had a splendid career the last season. Hit some huge shots, beat Iowa from the corner, nailed a couple of 3 balls against the Wolverines, and it will be Northwestern ball. So the thing to watch, what Coach Lavin pointed out, is tempo.
Northwestern takes care of the ball. There they post up Parker. We saw them do that yesterday. Invert their guards. So critical to the Wildcats. Take care of the basketball. Turnover will be critical for them to be successful. Cut them down.
Here's Augustine backing in, turning baseline, and they've missed their first 2 shots. Howell digs it out, an offensive save for them. Howell driving to the left side. Vukasic stays right with him. From the corner. And Head has it taken away by Parker. His brother Tony Parker is the point guard of the San Antonio Spurs.
Spread court offense, drill, Princeton style basketball. Bill Carmody worked drill for years in the system.
Want to get Vukasic off early, and the ball was not coming down, and it goes over. Ivanisic will get the handle. 8 are still scoreless, but when you think about it, anytime you can go this long without Illinois scoring, advantage Northwestern. They want to play you down a low-scoring game. No foul called. Northwestern's got it on the turnover. Illinois a little shaky to start this game. Northwestern ball with still 30 ticks on the shot clock. You saw it there.
Northwestern's come out in their man-to-man defense. Yesterday we saw them in their matchup zone for the entire 40 minutes of that game. But obviously feeling with the Illini shooters in the perimeter, they can't afford to play zone defense.
The shot nails the three ball, and Northwestern has led now for 22 plus seconds in their 2 meetings with Illinois. They strike first.
Now Northwestern in that matchup zone. Coach Harmony changing his defenses.
And the shaky Illini turn it over. You see that they very incredible figure, 92% of the total time played this season in 2.5 minutes first half. Another three ball. Jenkins off iron. Rebounded hit. Outlet. Here comes the ever speedy D. Brown. Brown attacks for the layup. Yes.
The Roadrunner is here, Brent, in the United Center.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Northwestern ball. He thought he got it off a Wildcat player.
We talk about Roadrunner speed, blazing speed, a one-man fast break, a one-man press break, you name it. Nice reverse. Body control. Strong for a little man, got good strength.
One of several Illini players who grew up in the Chicago area. Watching Michael Jordan running the ball.
He is high and wide, spread court offense. Good handoffs, ball screens, back cuts. Based on timing, good passing.
Now 8 on the shot. Now Jenkins is going to have to get someplace with 5. D. Brown's all over him. They're in front. And it's a held ball for a Western ball. Well, we've had several stories develop this year's Big Ten tournament in Chicago. Ohio State tied the largest comeback in tourney history in Game 3 yesterday. They trailed Penn State by 15. Gene Katie coaches the final game with Purdue and Illinois now. Remember, they've reached that title game for 7 years. So that story is just developing. Luther Head nails it. And Illinois ahead to 3 at the 16:40 mark.
The Illini coming into the game ready 40%. Very comfortable bombing away on their opponents.
Hightower had to call extra step. Augustine steps beyond the end line. D. Brown bring it up to the attack. See Williams come around. Ingram, who was the first off of Weber's bench, transfer from Tulsa, logged big minutes for the Illini this year. Augustine back to the basket. Double team, and he traveled. That is the 4th Illinois turnover of this game.
Northwestern alternating their defense. We've seen a little full court pressure, the half court matchup zone, as well as a man-to-man. They don't want the Illini to be able to settle into an offensive rhythm or flow, force them to recognize and react to changing defense.
Travisich steps out, gives it to his friend.
Pete Carrill smiling somewhere, Brent. Textbook backdoor.
Those two Croatians made it look pretty, didn't they? Offensive rebound by Augustine. Back comes Williams. 3, yes. 8-5 Illinois.
On the season, 663 points.
Traveling. We'll have our first break of the game. 15:29 to go, and Illinois leads Northwestern 8-5.
Exclusive presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors, the only way to go is up.
Coach, what do you make of the early going here?
Well, I like the fact that Northwestern changing their defenses, not allowing the Illini to settle into a rhythm. And I would expect the Illini to continue to pressure defensively so they don't allow Northwestern style offense. this point on 8 possessions. Only one time has the clock gotten under 10 seconds for Northwestern. So that's a good thing if you're Bruce Weber. You want them to shoot the ball early in the possession and create more possessions for the Illini and their prolific, explosive offense.
The Illinois basketball.
How about this, Brent? 663s they've taken on the year. They love the bomb squad. They've made 271, over 40% of their 3-pointers.
One of the reasons why they lost to Ohio State, they shot as cold beyond that arc.
High by the sword. Still different questions for the front line of the Illini. Very capable, sound, and solid, but do they have the front line to go all the way and cut down the nets?
Williams nails it 2, and it's a 5-point Illinois lead.
Wouldn't be surprised out of that timeout. Northwestern was a bit more patient. Another great cutter, great pass, good timing.
Monisich cleans it up underneath, and it's a 3-point.
You turn your head defensively, lose sight of man and ball. They will slice you up like a side of a
Head puts it on the floor. Exactly, and Monisich did not have a defensive answer for it. Trailing by 5 for Northwestern. This is not a comeback offense. They cannot lose contact in the early going. On the move. The shot drives inside and foul there defensively. Head off the iron into Parker's hand.
WWF in the backcourt.
That's 3 fellas now. Powell makes it 5 on 5. On a screen, hook tapped by Head. Williams starts red hot in this game. Missed that one, but there is Powell to clean it up. He'll be on the free throw line, shooting a pair. Well, ESPN's coverage of championship is presented by 7-Up continues here in perhaps the most important Big Ten game of the weekend, Minnesota and Indiana. Now, that will be followed from Conference USA with UAB taking on Louisville in Memphis. If you go back on that storyline on that Minnesota-Indiana game, almost everyone agreed that Indiana doesn't have a chance unless they beat Minnesota. The case for the Golden Gophers today is not quite so clear. They come in here with what is believed to be a better resume. But there are some who believe that the Big Ten can go 5 or even 6 deep, depending on how Iowa plays against Michigan State later today. So there are still a lot of issues that the committee and the athletes themselves will sort out. There's so much talk about the committee, but let's not forget the athletes. They determine an awful lot out of the floor themselves.
I think this is one of the more fluid situations heading into Selection Sunday in terms of conference tournaments and other teams. So much undecided. The selection committee has their work cut out for them. Seeding, bubble teams.
Probably going to be Jenkins. Could not. It'll be Parker. We're inside of 10 on that shot. The shot doesn't get the bounce. Nick Smith is checked in for the Illini, and suddenly the #1 team in the nation slowly seizing control. And Powell backing in. Foul called. And that goes down as the 5th penalty in this game.
See the Illini extending their defense in the full court. They don't want to allow the Wildcats to walk into their offense. Another tactic to try and speed them up, get them out of their rhythm or flow.
Wildcats turning it over the other end. Unusual to see Illinois turn it over that many times. Nice turn baseline by August. A 30-second timeout is the call. And it's 15-7. Let's take a look at the Illini resume in this game. Now, the point I think we should make here is that all ones are not created equal. You don't find anybody who doesn't believe that Illinois is the #1 seed, but are they the #1 of the #1? And if you go and rate these teams on an S curve, which the committee does, #1 seed, in other words, the fourth #1, they would play the highest ranked #2. So there is a difference. If the Illini go in and the committee say, all right, they are the #1 team in the nation, we all believe they should be if they take care of business here in Chicago. Then if it's a complete S curve, you are playing the 8th best team or the 4th of the 2. So remember this weekend when your brackets come out, all ones are not created equal. It is unfortunate, in my opinion, that the committee does not release 1 through 65 so that we see where everybody is rated when the tournament starts. I always thought that fans would love to see what they found, but they will tell us about the ones, and so that'll be part of the big story unfolding on Sunday.
That's part of the fun. It's all secrecy, right? Miss Field's cookies, Kentucky Fried Chicken, special recipes.
Can you believe all the attention it gets? It's amazing. It's a PR banana.
The Academy Awards. And the winner is
RPI, BCS, all the talk. Scott with a running left-handed hook.
Gotta love watching this Northwestern team. Very artful style of offense, crafty old style of play.
And on the free throw line is one of the best guards in the country, Darren Williams. All 5 of the Illini starters have scored. They lead Northwestern 15-9. Timeout. But folks, they are surrounded. And what a gathering for 11 a.m. on a Friday morning in Chicago. And if you don't think these Illini backers didn't get their hands on tickets around the Big Ten, coming here hoping to watch the Illini play 3 times Saturday afternoon, the final on Sunday. It is a real happening. And then the Illini, of course, that march to the Arch, they're hoping to be assigned to Indianapolis. Everyone thinks they will the first weekend. Come back to Chicago, the All-State Arena, remember, not here, for the regional, and then go down to St. Louis. I don't believe they'd have a road trip as long as 200 miles at any of those sites from Champaign.
Well, that becomes a real advantage, getting back and forth to campus for your academic responsibilities, even though it's very difficult to focus on your studies during March Madness, Brent, trust me. But also you stay in the same time zone, you stay in your same routine.
For those of us who didn't play, they had to deal with the brackets coach, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Bracketology here about to be in full swing.
Were you in charge of the pools?
I had all the
campus at Northwestern?
I had everyone. Back in those days, we had Loyola Chicago, remember, in the 60s. They won a national championship.
See, I'm glad you're dating yourself.
Into the hands of Smith. Boy, I just like the look that Williams has brought to this game here today. Deep round, the 3 for D.
I'll tell you what, Darren Williams, he brings the ball up the floor. He has tremendous vision. He's always looking ahead, looking for a teammate. He found Brown there in a scattered floor situation with a wide open 3.
If you want to compare the Princeton offense with football, think about the wishbone and think about how hard it is to come back with that particular off. Why an early lead by Illinois could be fatal in this particular matchup. Now let's take you to the map. From Champaign, it's 133 miles here to Chicago, the Big Ten tournament. Over to Indianapolis, 124 miles. Then the regionals, let's go back to Chicago. And then let's make it to the Arch. 182 miles. Folks, you just load up the cooler and take off.
Northwestern substitution, number 31, Wildcats.
This is a great environment. They turn out better than they do at Wrigley Field. You'll see the Illini now. It's an afternoon game. See the Cubbies, the bleachers. It's a little too cold to be playing baseball.
Yeah, it is.
Wait a couple weeks here.
Coach, we've had some very cold Aprils with the Cubs in Wrigley Field. Thinking about that, but that'll be happening soon.
That's why they sell so many subs. Keep them warm. Draft beer.
Smith loves that outside game. Here comes Jenkins. Lukasic. Scrap trying to come through. So the turnover number 5 for the Wildcats, down 9.
The Illini do a nice job at jamming cutters, clogging, what that does when you jam a cutter like that, similar to football, you disrupt the rhythm and the timing of an offense like a slant pattern in football. Bump it at the line of scrimmage.
Coaches told me that was how they were going to do it. In low now to Augustine. They said that Northwestern ran a couple of different sets yesterday against Michigan and not let Parker get through. And it was certainly successful that last trip down the floor.
You have to have tremendous defensive discipline. We talk about shot selection and shot discipline, but defensively for the whole possession, you have to be able to stay down in a stance and keep working. A shot from long range.
Got a good-looking couple of days here if you can keep that going. 21-13. They're going to need the long ball to stick with the Illini. Illinois favored by 18 here this morning. Ride in and out, and the reminder in two's coverage of championship week continues with 3 ACC tournament quarterfinals. Georgia Tech against Virginia Tech. North Carolina State against Wake Forest without Chris Paul. And Virginia taking on the Dukes. Championship week presented by 7-Up on ESPN2 today at 2, 7, and 9. 3 shots coming up.
The Princeton approach to basketball, the Northwestern approach to basketball, Pete Carrill, Bill Carmody, now John Thompson at Georgetown, all disciples of Pete Carrill. It's based on smarts, intelligence. He's foul of a three-point shooter. He does not play into percentage basketball, so Bill Carmody not happy with that foul by Jenkins. Cardinal rule, do not foul a jump shooter.
And the lead at 11 now with 9:28. Biggest margin of this quarterfinal game. Indiana and Minnesota, the 4-5 game next. And a very, very important matchup as far as the NCAA tournament field is concerned. Shot puts it down, attacks. And foul is going to be called on Augustine. That's his first.
Boy, there wasn't any body. I don't know if it was up top. Maybe with the offhand on the chest. Tough to see. Let's see if his offhand gets on his chest. Yep. Up top, completely clean. It looked like his offhand was on the body. They don't miss many. It's officiating crew.
Hightower, Augustine sharing the lead. Underneath, he's one of the best officials in the country. Has been for years.
We were talking about jamming up Northwestern cutters. What Northwestern's going to have to do to counter that defensive tactic is run a little false motion. They may not get it on the first swing or the second swing offensively. By the third or fourth swing, deeper in the possession, that'll loosen up the Illini defense and allow for the flow of the cutters and timing necessary to make this offense successful.
And Powell picks up a foul. Got hook 6 down. So it's a third team foul on the Illini. Northwestern will see if they can take advantage of it. Wants it on the floor with his countryman. International flavor. Northwestern roster.
I was just going to say, it's like watching an Olympics competition here, watching the USA team play a Lithuania team in Puerto Rico, spread floor, utilizing the three-point line.
The Browns' hands. Warren Carter on the floor for the Illini is number 41. Jenkins head pass now to a shot, and shot coming in on Brown, and foul's going to be called on D. And we check in with Aaron.
Hey guys, before the game I had a chance to speak with TJ Parker. What did you concentrate on yesterday?
Hi, welcome to our Championship Week studios. Doug Gottlieb is here. We just lost the feed, and obviously things beginning to go at least Illinois' way, and we'll certainly get you back to the action in just a couple of seconds. But the way things have played for Illinois, coming off of a loss, was there ever any concern on your behalf that this would be a struggle against Northwestern?
No, there's no real concern, but the thing that jumps out at you with Illinois is all of a sudden they lose one game, and is there really a discussion that this is not the #1 seeded team in the tournament? How quickly we forget. They beat Wake Forest in the non-conference. They beat Gonzaga in the non-conference. Beat Cincinnati on a neutral site in Vegas. This is a very good basketball team, And for anyone to say that one loss takes them out of that top winner of the opening round game in Dayton, I think is not doing justice to what they did in the non-conference. Remember, they lost a one-point game on the road last game of the season. How many one-point games did we see just last weekend? Kansas losing on the road, Florida getting Kentucky. So a road loss by 1 point, not really that big a thing in the big picture.
And again, some technical difficulties. We're going to go back to the game now. Looks like things have been cleared up at the United Center. Doug and I will be here throughout the day. Now let's go back to Brent.
All right, Carl, we come back and hit us right on a break. 26-15, Illinois with... Keep on rising. Keep on rising. Keep on rising. Go. And when we temporarily lost power, you missed this putback dunk by Roger Powell, his first field goal of the game. Coming over from the weak side to slam it back in, and it's 26-15. And Illinois, 7 assists on 9 with this team, because they really shared the sugar, as the coach would say.
They do enjoy the thrill of the pass, Brent. And that's refreshing. In today's era where the dribble dominates the game, it's nice to see a team that enjoys passing the ball. It's a vanishing art. This team enjoys the pass. Their offense is predicated on the pass and cutting.
Down left hand, and Carter is there. All is go against the Wildcats. Offensive foul.
This is forcing the action. It's just a jump stop, not jump in the air. Off balance, leaning forward. Nice job of Roger Powell to move in. Take the charge on the numbers in front of his jersey.
Vukasic covers Powell up underneath, and Head couldn't get it fed to the post. Spin, Darren Williams give it now to Augustine, steps out.
Silky smooth touch for Augustine. Both these teams like to step their bigs away from the basket, create open spacing in the lane for back cuts.
With this particular offense, you need to shoot a very high percentage. You leave yourself vulnerable underneath the glass because of the constant cutting. Now, Vukasic did just that from the perimeter. But to fill in on that storyline, Northwestern's without one offensive rebound in this game.
Well, that's the trade-off. You have a straight court offense, and also going to get back defensively. Baskets, it's a trade-off that don't work.
Well, Sunday, don't miss another NBA doubleheader on ABC. It'll be the Mavericks and Timberwolves. Dirk Nowitzki is back. You'll see him be it up against Kevin Garnett. Then a game 2, Rockets and Kings. And it's Sunday beginning at 12:30 Eastern on ABC.
Where the Kings traded my man Matt Barnes, former Bruin, to the 76ers. Now he doesn't get any run. Doesn't get in the games. He's a home kid, Sacramento.
Did I see that they turned him loose?
Come join us for our game Monday night, NIT. 3-man booth.
Northwestern foul number 31, Wildcats. Second personal, 6th team foul.
Boy, Augustine in rhythm, and again, that's heads up by the Illini in terms of going with the hot hand, getting the big man involved early. That motivates the big dogs. When you throw them a bone occasionally on offense, they're willing to work a little bit harder on defense. They've been cleaning up the boards, helping defensive perimeter. Got to give the big dogs a bone once in a while.
Big dogs like it. Vukasic whips it to Jenkins. Out of bounds.
The Northwestern has forced the issue more than Bill Carmody would like. 5-6 possessions here. They've forced some of their backdoor passes, forced some of their dribble penetration, instead of allowing the offense to the action.
Great pass to the inside. Foul on the free throw line is the end result. Our next game, Minnesota, arriving at the United Center. They'll play Indiana in 4-5 game. Big NCAA terms at stake. Certainly Minnesota would appear to be a certainty if they win it. Indiana probably must win it to give themselves a chance. Closing strong under Coach Davis. You see this Gopher resume. And they won their last 4 games coming in here to the Big Ten tournament. And the weakness in their resume would be the strength of their non-conference schedule, but they did take care of business. 20 wins, coaches, be the automatic figure, didn't it?
10-6 in the Big Ten Conference. There's talk of teams that are 7-9 in the ACC or the conferences like the Big East making the NCAA tournament. It doesn't really seem fair to have a team 10-6 in the Big Ten that doesn't make it.
Hashad misses the 3. Quickly, shots all over him, and he traveled. Northwestern ball on the turnover. That's turnover number 8. That's approaching their average. So they've been a little bit shaky in protecting the basketball, but that's the only weakness. They lead this one 31-17. Since the first few minutes, they have been in control. Seem to be tightening their grip. I guess if there's any weakness, Coach, in what you're saying about the Big Ten, it's the fact that the bottom of the conference is just not strong this year. The Purdue States, the Michigans dropping off. I'm not sure that a 10-6 is of the same value as 7-9 in the ACC.
I'm just trying my best to help out the Big Ten.
They're going to get 5 or 6 in.
The way you picked up the meal the other night, I mean, we got to do what we can to get a couple of teams in there.
It's wonderful. Hey, what happened to the Bruins last night? They got a little Bruins against Oregon State.
I had my Bruins in Staples. I really thought they'd make a run and have a chance. But unfortunately, ran into Oregon State. Jay John doing a nice job out there with the Beavers.
I still think UCLA will get into the NCAA field.
They should. When you look at their RPI, their strength of schedule.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see what the committee does with that lead. Stanford in the mix.
Great coaching job there as Powell finishes here for Coach Weber.
Well, Trent Johnson's done a nice job. Slow start for the Cardinal. Filling in for Mike Montgomery. Big shoes to fill. Going the right direction.
Right is back up. Illinois extends its defense. And they back off just a touch. Rubicic will see what he can do from the baseline. Force the issue. Tap back. And that's their first offensive rebound of this game. Jenkins, the 3, yes. Got to get the little fella wide open for the 3.
Well, they made the extra pass on the penetration there. There's another example of good penetration by Powell.
A city that is painted orange. The Windy City. Champaign North on this day. Timeout.
There are right moves, and then there's the edge cutting system. Only John Deere gives you the edge with your John Deere dealer behind you and dependability beneath you. You'll always have a John Deere yard to look forward to. Now get a free cart with select John Deere tractors.
In our Championship Week studios with Doug Gottlieb, this is Carl Ravitch. Carolina, its path to a #1 seed underway, taking on Clemson, and Sean May working hard in the lane. He gets it dropped. Carolina up by a touchdown, 25-18, extra point good. That game being aired on ESPN2. Oklahoma all over Missouri. Dougie 13-4 early.
Very similar to the last time these two teams met. Oklahoma had a 13-point lead in the second half. Mizzou came storming back sooner.
All right, Brent, we'll see you at the half. 7-Up halftime report.
All right, Carl, we look forward to that. And here, Illinois taking care of business. Ingram knocks down the field goal. We've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And the Illini leading it by 15. 35-20 count.
This is a great opportunity for the Illini. First round, they may face it now. Try to play Allen basketball, similar to this Northwestern team. Your early round games often in matchups like this.
A 1 and a 16. Northwestern with its second offensive rebound, but that time the Illini had it all orange underneath the glass. That one
could be a Holy Cross they match up with.
Holy Cross might be in trouble
tonight, huh?
We'll see. Rashad double teamed, and the foul. It's on Augustine. So this is what Carl told you was coming up on the 7-Up halftime report. ACC Big 12 quarters, the bubble watch, and they'll talk about the teams that are on the bubble. None bigger than Indiana coming up next, and the storylines from last night.
I like Holy Cross. Rob Willard has had some great experiences in Kentucky as an assistant, also as a head coach in Pittsburgh, and of course they have the direct line to the man above. Of course, Bob Cousy got a style of play. Most importantly, they took Kansas down to the wire a couple years back. Had some NCAA tournament experience.
Frequently, as Darren Williams drove through and it just didn't fall, but an offensive rebound. Give it now to McBride, the three. And here comes Jenkins. Parker has been quiet. Augustine all over Vukovic. Going with him through the screens. The shot will attack and foul on the dribble.
This style of offense we're seeing in the NBA now, the short clock version of Pete Thrill Princeton offense, Sacramento Kings, New Jersey Nets. Obviously, Joe Scott now, Princeton, John Thompson, Beth Princeton, gone to Georgetown. So we're seeing the effect of this offense at all levels of basketball. A very effective way to play if you don't have overwhelming, dominant talent. Perfect fit for a place like Northwestern, an academic school. Recruit those smart lads. You're an alumnus of this school. You're a smart cookie.
Sometimes they make exceptions to that smart coach.
You have a special admit?
It was State journalism school. Half the football team was with me over there, you know what I'm saying? Then along came Watergate, along came a movie, became a glamorous professional.
You are so big time in this town. There's a picture of you and Harry Carey's.
Were you in there last night?
I was in there, got some good chow. Couldn't get the Pac-10 tournament. Can you believe it? Couldn't get the Pac-10 tournament, Harry Carey's. We got to talk to him about getting the Fox subscription.
Yeah, we have. Get a dish up for you. You know, Saul, I think when I think Saul was down at the University of Chicago.
He's in grad school.
You're very impressed by him, aren't you?
I just love the luminaries. You know, I didn't realize Hugh Hefner was an alumnus of Illinois. Talk about a great recruiter. He understood recruiting before anybody.
Cost him a Rose Bowl watch. Michael White took the team out there, and they went and had parties out at the mansion instead of concentrating on the gutty little Bruins. You guys ambushed them in Los Angeles.
A little bit
They had a weekend pad. You know, it's true about Hugh Hefner. It's true. He does wear pajamas all day. Obviously, don't know why I thought about that.
I'm surprised. He's probably up in one of these suites. He probably made the trip back here.
No, he's watching. He's watching out in Los Angeles. He's got his feet up, enjoying it. He's got a high def. He's watching on high def right now.
For Illinois, James Augustine, 2 shots.
So here's James Augustine. Stepping to the line 4 of the field. Carter checking back in. We think about the Illini next year, and Warren Carter, the 6'9" sophomore from Dallas, he will have to step in. Roger Powell is a senior. He'll be gone from the team. Jack Ingram, a senior, a transfer from Tulsa, he too will be gone. Augustine's only a junior. Luther Head is the other senior. We'll have to see what happens with Darren Williams in these rounds. Concussion is concerned. I know there's been a lot of stories, speculation, even quotes from Darren, and I'm sure that if he comes up on, you know, a top 10 on the NBA list, he'll be gone from Champaign. So we'll see how that all works out. Coach, I got a question for you. Speaking of guards, How will Wake Forest operate against North Carolina State without Chris?
Against Cincinnati. Remember when he went out of the game, things would fall apart. So they do have a veteran group, some seniors.
Let's make that 2.
That's going to be challenging for Wake Forest, especially in the postseason. Teams come after you. We've seen all these upsets. Teams like Clemson stepping up.
You know, that little incident that cost football player of the year. Some of the awards. So unfortunate.
That kind of behavior, the true sportsman. Don't want to punch the onion.
Doyle kicks it back to Parker. Last 10 seconds. Illinois will take a lead. Foul is called underneath. No shot. And this is going to be the 19th time this season that Illinois has had a double for Bruce Weber. Some folks around Champaign told me that after the loss to Ohio State that the players rebounded quicker than the coaches, and that's not unusual in athletics.
So that's a universal. They're resilient. They're on to playing video games, back to their studies, on their cell phones, ready for the next ball game. They bounce back.
The putback number 4. The Hightower had a great view of the clock and the relationship with the putback attempt. And you will see from this angle that the correct call has been made. Now watch number 5. You see red light already on. No question. Hasn't even touched the ball yet. Half over. There's Hightower. You can see him. He'll come over. This will confirm this call.
This is a new arena, Brent, so the electrical engineers here are top shelf. This is not one of those old barns like worry about the wiring.
And let's check in with Aaron.
All right, coach is giving me a hard time for not wearing orange today. Coming off that loss, how do you think they've responded in this first half?
They've done well. I mean, we got their attention in the film session on Monday. They practiced well Tuesday and Wednesday, and you know, now we thought we could wear them down, push it on them. They had to play yesterday. One-day recovery is pretty tough, and you know, we just think we have better athletes. We can push the ball on them, and that's what we did.
All right, coach, see you in the second half. Fred.
Stops to talk to Aaron. Hey, guys in Bristol, send
all
her out to interview Barry Bonds. Nobody ever says no.
She gets all the love.
We're at halftime.
All the love.
Let's join Carl for the 7-Up halftime report. Take it away, Carl.
Hi, Brent. Thank you. And with all due respect, I don't even think Aaron's getting Barry to talk. This is the 7-Up halftime report. Gottlieb is here, and I am Carl Ravitch. An interesting first half. You heard Bruce Weber say we were able to get them through the film session to get locked in. Speaking of locked in, Clemson, maybe a surprise against North Carolina early. And a look back at last night's act, Nevada, Boise State.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of
Final match against Northwestern, and coach, it's going to be tough if NU doesn't hit a higher percentage. They held them under 40% of the first half, the Illini did.
Yeah, Northwestern only shooting 31% and 11 turnovers, and the Wildcats have such a compressed margin for error when playing such a talented, explosive team like the Illini. But give the Illini credit. They played great defense, shot 56% from the field. Even though they had 9 turnovers, I think that was a little bit of the jitters of being in a...
Augustine will take the ball out directly in front of us. The Illini with the opening possession of the second half. Indiana and Minnesota, the 4-5 game is next. Williams inside, missed the first shot, dug out again by Powell. They leave him alone on the baseline, and he misses a shot for NU.
First 5 minutes critical here for both teams. If Northwestern wants to have a chance in this game, they have to come out razor sharp. The Illini trying to bury the hatchet of the Wildcats.
Jenkins hoists the 3. A shot and head going for the ball. The shot knocked it out, and we check in with Aaron.
All right, Brent, had a chance to speak with Bill Carmody in the room. He said the biggest thing that is killing him, just what Steve Lavin mentioned, the turnovers. Illini have scored 12 points off of those 10 turnovers. Also, he's upset with the free throws that they've been missing. He basically told his team flat out, if you want to beat the #1 team in the nation, you have to be perfect in this second half.
Northwestern ball, out of bounds sideline.
You know, yesterday they were razor sharp in the second half. They do have that as a reference point, a baseline, but a little different approach.
Shot can't score. Hits there to rebound for the Illini. Illinois hasn't scored the first 2 possessions here of the second half. Flip it inside to Powell, and Powell is blocked, and a foul is called. Vukovic underneath.
Northwestern foul number 11.
The ball moves so quickly. The half-court attack of the Illini. They look up the floor in transition very well. They're excellent at putting the ball on the deck and creating off the dribble, but they move the ball. We talked about Ralph Miller over the years to reverse the ball in 1.3 seconds. And they do that so well. Hot potato. No wasted dribble, no massaging the ball.
What's your impression of Powell's game?
I like his game. A little bit undersized for the next level if he wants to play in the basket area, but if he continues to develop his perimeter game, he has an opportunity, but he has to develop the skills of a 3-man. Right now he's effective down low, posting up small garbage in the glass. He has a nice touch from distance, but I think he's going to have to work on the ball handling and passing. He's going to step out in the NBA.
Northwestern attempting to end the drought. Vukovic will fire for it. Does. Nails the 3. Steal. A shot comes back. Trying to put together back-to-back field goals. Give a little energy here in the second half. Timeout is called by NU. We'll take a break. 39-25. Northwestern with the ball when we come back. They eliminate Northwestern tomorrow in the semifinal. Then 2 night games will determine the other semifinal teams. So Northwestern, after the turnover, trying to put together field goals in this game. Shots out of Montreal. Jenkins got size on him there, so he sends it down low. The turnaround is short. Reaches for it. Northwestern comes out again. Wancic has got it low on the block. Kick back.
Illinois help side defense.
The shot slips through. You made the observation that he's wiry and slippery and hard to defend.
Classic Europe, smaller Vladi Divac type of build, skill. Gives away a couple inches. Puts it on the deck, very aggressive. Change of direction. 2-foot jump stop.
Underhanded, just like Vladi would prefer down.
Yep.
Haven't seen him flop yet, though, Coach.
Hopefully he doesn't smoke cigarettes like Vladi. Vladi goes through cartons.
He's the beauty of that.
He's old school, like the old locker rooms, the old Milwaukee Bucks with Don Nelson Cigs. You hear him talking about how they're going to fight through a certain screen, how they want to play a pick and roll.
Old school.
I love that.
Do you know that in the Tour de France, back around the time of the First World War, they smoked? They felt that it improved their oxygen. Okay? There's those guys going down the road on those bicycles, and they were puffing away back in that era. You should see some of the still photos of that. Look at it.
Like that?
Oh, did they ever? Their head puts it down, and there's a foul, no shot.
No basket.
Illinois still looking for its first field goal this half. Jenkins picks up the personal. 3-team. And the margin's 12.
For Northwestern, you just want to hang in there. 4 or 5 minute little battles here in the second half and try and chip away. 15-minute mark, 10-minute mark. Down to 5-minute mark, maybe you got a tie game. That's the hope if you're Bill Carmody. If you're Bruce Weber on the flip side, you're hoping to extend. Not allow Northwestern to stay dangerously close. Three-point line has changed the game. much as any rule has gone into effect in the last 25 years. Teams come back in a hurry.
27, 16:44 mark. Ingram fouled for 6. And the ESPN's coverage of championship week continues. The Minnesota-Indiana game will be coming up. It's around 2 o'clock. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Then at 4:30, UAB takes on Louisville in the semifinals of the conference. And Memphis putting itself in position with Cincinnati having been knocked out. It would be a home game for Memphis. That would be the only way that they would make it into the NCAA field. And of course, that could hurt a Big Ten bubble team. A shot. So the things to watch as you pull for the Indianas, the Iowas here in the Big Ten, Minnesotas, is how many of those upsets occur in Conference USA. If Memphis runs the table, they get the automatic, and of course Cincinnati and Louisville will be easily joined in. Perhaps UAB. DePaul is squarely in the crosshairs right now. Shot makes the free throw.
Mike Anderson done a nice job in Conference USA with UAB. I think Memphis and UAB have a chance to really dominate that league now that they've split it up. 20 wins for the Blazers, that Richardson style.
Illinois without a field goal for 4 minutes and 40 seconds. You got to go back to the first half. So here's the kind of drought that Northwestern needs, and they've inched back. Misfiring. Trout wanted a foul call. Six was clearing space.
But Northwestern also hopes with this deliberate style as they kind of lull you to sleep and you lose your aggressiveness.
Clark, they can get it down to within single digits here. Traveling forward against Parker. It's 40-29. We've got a timeout. 15:34 to go. NU on a 7-2 run.
It's all over the country right now. Missouri's made it a little tight against Oklahoma.
They need somebody else there that can draw the defense out.
Despite the score and the scoreboard, it is now 31-24. You saw Goldbolt make a jump shot there, but it is 31-24, so they are within 7. Oklahoma's last. Ole Miss and Alabama just getting underway. It is 8-8.
And back here, Carl, Illinois struggling from the field. Northwestern putting together a 7-2 run. And they're doing this without much help from their star, Vukasic. He fouled out yesterday against Michigan, scoring only 7 points. And he's had his troubles here today. Open back door.
Great execution. Good rub off the back screen, clearing out the backside post area for the open lob.
Snapping a 5-27 scoring drought for the Illini. Hooking foul.
Watch the clear aside over the top. Good timing. Luther Head on the money. Another angle. It's like Batman flying in there. Building. We got Superman. Getting my superheroes mixed up. There's so many superheroes on the line. 3 of them. Batman, Superman, Ultraman.
And low to Powell. After that timeout, Weber designs the alley-oop. Powell low.
What we see here is the nice post-up by Roger Powell. But what we didn't see before that was the ball reversal. The Illinois players transport the ball. They don't hatch it. So often, kids will catch the ball and hatch it like an egg. You got to get rid of it. Swing it. Hot potato. Put some ping on it. Move it. 14 assists for the Illini on their 16 field goals. That means they're not trying to get it off the dribble, not trying to force or massage it. but they do use dribbling. That's an effective arsenal to have in your weapon with a purpose. Go to the hole.
Double team forcing the turnover. Augustine intercept. Here's Powell on the free throw line.
Classic example there, even in transition, the way they share the ball, looking for one another. Great school. Here's the road runner, giving it up for the lob, wisely ahead, instead of making a tough play, makes the touch pass to Roger Powell. That's just the unselfishness that's reflected their entire season.
And in their lone loss to Ohio State, they trailed only 6 seconds of that game. Fortunately for the Illini, it was the most important 6 seconds of the contest. But they have dominated the college basketball universe this year. And it goes over as Powell pushes off to get free. And the struggle for Lucas.
Well, he's forced a couple passes that just aren't there. If you're going to make a one-handed pass, you got to make sure it's there. Which is part of the attack that Northwestern, the tactic, the technique they teach is passing off the dribble. But you have to be sure the receiver's there, the timing's right. You have to read it. There's that pressure defense. Officials are
Eddie's going to overrule him on this. He had a better view of Dean Brown slapping the ball into the backcourt, so it will be a Northwestern ball at midcourt with the 28 on the shot.
That's great officiating. Working together. Officials have to have teamwork just like the players on the floor.
Deflected. Augustine into Powell's hand. Intercepted. Here comes the shot for the layup.
Boy, he's everywhere. Omnipresent. Passing lanes on the boards. Shot in transition.
He's been their best player for 2 days. Augustine could turn it over. Jenkins gets to the floor. Here comes a shot again. Deep Brown is back. A shot will try to put it down behind the back by Deep Brown. You don't do that. Kicks now to Darren Williams. Post up 3. Here's Head. Would have brought the house down if they'd have closed with that 3.
You're right about Deep Brown, pickpocket artist, best defender. Talk about stingy. Here's a shot. Playing the passing lane wisely, going to the hole. It's good anticipation and move your head and telegraph that play a little bit.
Lukasic tried the 3.
I like the fact that he can step out, Lukasic, but I'd like to see him get underneath a little bit, get some boards, big wide body, broad shoulders, to maybe get to the foul line.
Williams' turn after Head had missed, tracked down his own miss. Margins 15, 12.5.
Lukasic, 6'8", 240. Within this offense, there's opportunities to slide him down the block, maybe run a pick and roll. Get something in the lane, the basket area for him.
Now 7 on that shot. Deflected out of bounds. And note the shot clock.
Illinois substitution number 41, Warren
When
Carter.
you're having a game like Lukasic and you're struggling a little bit, you start to see the body language.
Catch and shoot here with a 2nd on the clock. Didn't get it off.
Illinois.
Carter, with more size than Jenkins, towered over him, and not a wise choice of a receiver. There was no chance to get that shot off. You've got to get to one of the bigger fellas if you're going to do that on the outside, especially against Western. 31% from the field. They've moved it over 16 times in this game for the Illini.
Excellent screen and slip to the basket. The foot speed of Augustine makes him so difficult to match up. They'll set screen. Another steal here by the Illini. Quick hands. Cat-quick team.
Williams, so smart, brought it back outside. Here's Carter. Will be on the free throw line as the shot hammers him. and we'll have an ACC update. North Carolina struggling against Clemson.
Clemson giving it to Carolina on the board. James Mays getting busy. Made it 52-45. For Raymond Felton 3, it's 52-48 on ESPN2, Brett.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, Carl. So Clemson clinging to that 4-point lead over there, and here it's Illinois by 17. Coach, think about the Illini on this comeback game after their loss last Sunday, of course, to Ohio State. What impresses you? What doesn't impress you?
Well, I think they've responded very well. They were a little bit jittery, had some turnovers in the first half, and I think that's because it's their first game after a layoff and coming off a loss. But this is a veteran group. We talked about at the outset of the game, Brent. I think maybe a younger team you'd be concerned about that late season loss, but this core group has been through so much. The success under Bill Self, the coaching change, the success under Bruce Weber last year, this unbelievable season they're having here. One loss, I'd play another challenge. Not an obstacle for them, just a bump in the road.
Augustine got a hand on it, but Jenkins retrieves it. Free throws only 50% from that line here today. Here's Northwestern take advantage of it. Doyle's out there with Scott, Rashad, Jenkins, and Parker. Well, they've got Scott back on the field. He's going to foul it. He's got to find some shoes. Missing the three. Augustine. Williams is stopped by Rashad. Williams is just a very, very smooth operator. You don't notice how smooth he is. To the crossover, and Jenkins stays right with him. Turn it over. Now Doyle. And on that turnover, goes back to the Illini. Coach?
Well, here's textbook basketball. Watch Augustine. He's going to pass the ball and then follow his pass and go screen and then slip to the basket here. Watch this. Textbook. He is so quick. Excellent execution. Great delivery with the bounce pass. Illinois so tough to defend. Great spacing. They stretch defenses. That opens up a pick and roll and pick and slip.
Smith working in tight to the basket, and a nice little spin move and the biggest lead of the game. Doyle. Augustine holds his ground. Doyle comes back left-handed. There's Augustine.
Doyle hasn't gotten a lot of minutes, but he's forced the action. He's in there a little bit. Come off the bench. Give yourself a chance to get into rhythm before you start forcing the action.
Turn around. Left-hander's good. Up by 21 now. 9:22, and Augustine 6 of 7 from the field.
Augustine, understated game, Red. Very underrated, understated.
Here they come.
BB.
Oh, yeah. Showtime.
That's the first time we've gotten the fans off their seat. I think they're saving it for the next round. A little appreciation for D. Brown, the road runner.
Parker missing. Carter up with the rebound.
Look at the way they probe and look for one another, even in transition, scattered floor. They're always looking up the floor with good vision. They're looking for that support. The ball to the open man. Here is the Pete Beeper off the glass. That's Batman and Robin. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. McMahon and Carson. Those two love each other, Brett. Those three have such great chemistry, a sense of where they are on the floor, eyes in the back of their head, just great instincts for one another. Second nature.
I bet that's one of the replays of the day right there.
He's had a lot of little human highlight film.
Candidate for National Player of the Year.
I'm going to go on a limb here, but 10 years ago, UCLA wins a national championship. Tyus Edney, I think, is the quickest player that I've seen the last 10 years of college basketball. Just a blaze. But I think he has either equal or better speed than Tyus Edney.
That's saying something.
Tyus, talk about light, the speed of light. Just a rocket. We saw him go the length of the court against Missouri in that 95 championship run in 4.3 seconds. Winning layup.
Watch was defended underneath by Augustine. Strong work defensively. He'll take a break now. And Powell comes in. The Illini on a 9-0 run, and they're starting to put the nails in the coffin right now. Pretty much any way they want here in the last couple of minutes. A shot. Can't do anything about it. Carter yanks it away, and here they come.
Spreading the minutes out here. 3 days. Serve. Fresh legs for this team.
A shot to the right side. He's been Northwestern's best player the last 2 days. With 18 points, he has tied his career high here against Illinois in this game. Luther had off the bench. Brings it through.
Play so well, and they have so many interchangeable parts. You can put the ball on the floor. They get wide open standstill threes. Very rarely do they have to force their shots, and that's because they're so balanced offensively. You can't key on one player. It's also why they shoot so accurately. 40% from the three-point because they're standstill good looks. Look who joined us over here. I got a gopher over my shoulder. Head coach Dan Munson in the house.
All right, game coming up next against Indiana.
I think he's over here to lobby for the Gonzaga 1 seed. Oh, that's right. No, he's lobbying for the Gophers.
120 games already under Coach Munson.
20 games, got them headed in the right direction. It's all because he comes from good basketball bloodline. His father, Don Munson.
We get 11, but I prefer to be interviewed by Aaron. I don't know why Coach would say that, but we will assign Aaron to that.
So unfair. Get no
right after this break. Let go for Coach.
And in part by DirecTV. DirecTV is rethinking the way television should be.
Well, Clemson's maintained it all afternoon here, and they're not going anywhere. Cheyenne Moore doing some window cleaning.
This is the biggest difference between this team and Connecticut last year in Carolina. Defensive inconsistency, whereas at least last year, Connecticut very consistent on the defensive end.
Wow, tough on the glass. And Clemson, Steve, you and I were in Chapel Hill when the Heels just ran Clemson right out of the building. It was never this coming from this Clemson team. What a great run by that club.
Give Oliver Purnell a lot of credit. This team is dangerous on the glass in terms of offensive rebounding. It is a very quick team. That is one advantage, and of course, neutral site, not playing at home like they were in Chapel Hill.
Sean May has been limited, we understand, to just 2 points in that game. So for the bubble teams, you know, Clemson gets on a run in an ACC tournament, and that'll take something to watch when you root for those teams that are close to being in the 65-team field.
We've talked about it all week, Brett. Teams that at the end of the year, at the bottom of the conference, can sometimes be very dangerous. They've got new hope, a fresh start, a new season, 0-0. They come in with a lot of hope. The dream, as you called it yesterday. No gimmicks in the conference tournament.
Minnesota will be coming up next against Indiana. Good concept with Aaron. We get an opportunity here. We'll go right to it. 4 on the shot. He'll have to take it.
Boy, you talk about rainmaker. High arching into the clouds.
Let's go to Aaron with Coach right now.
Right behind you guys, take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Of course, this is huge for both of you if you want to go dance. And what's the best way to ensure a berth for your team in the big dance?
Well, I think everybody comes in a conference tournament, you have to win basketball games, and that's what you've done all year. You hope it doesn't come down to one game in the tournament, but realistically, that's what you can control, and that's your next basketball game, and that's Indiana for us today.
The biggest key, the biggest thing you're worried about against this Indiana team?
Well, they're shooting the ball so well that we got to extend out and try to get to the three-point shooters, which really exposes DJ White inside against Jeff Hagan, and how much we can help in and yet continue the biggest concern.
Now I got to ask you, what kind of hairdo does Greer have? Because right now the word on the street, the Hoosiers have shaved their heads for this game.
Well, we're hoping it doesn't come down to hairstyles because Vince has gone pretty plain on us. He's pretty generic, and hopefully his game will be more of a statement than our hairdos.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. It's coming up.
All right, Aaron, we certainly are looking forward to Minnesota against Indiana. And again, Minnesota's resume is pretty good. And even if they lose, they're going to get into the field. That's not the case with Indiana. They think that the Hoosiers must have this win.
We're going to have to add H-P-I, hair, P-I. Just one other factor the selection committee has to consider. Boy, they got their hands full.
Rejected. Knocked out of bounds. Carter.
Jack Ingram does a nice job going straight up. That allows Carter plugging holes. Put that back in seat 6, row 7.
Lukasic comes right back with the inbounds pass. So it's a 20-point margin now as we come down to the 5-minute mark.
Adopted the alignment. You're right, Frank. They really love this team.
And they advance. They'll play the winner of the Indiana-Minnesota game tomorrow in the semifinal. Then tonight it's Michigan and Wisconsin against Ohio State, two what could be very, very competitive games tonight. Iowa will have to really play a good game to hang in with a deep Michigan State team. There's a lot of talent that Tom Izzo has at his disposal at that game.
Yeah, Iowa trying to climb into the tournament. Michigan State trying to fight their way into a 2 or a 3 seed. And with things shaking up here at the top, you got to look at teams like UConn who maybe have a chance now to become a 1 seed. If Oklahoma State wins out, we'll see what happens in this Clemson-Carolina game. So very remember a time where the 1s, the 2s, the 3s were in such a fluid situation. Other than Illinois, there's no locks. If North Carolina gets knocked off, it's really open.
Well, that'll give the fellas something to talk about. If Carolina loses, have they squandered the number 1 seed? And that's it. Well, that'll be interesting. Of course, there's time to go in that game.
Yeah.
They can still come back against them.
It also depends what happens. A team like Arizona can creep back in the picture by winning the pack. Oklahoma State, UConn. Who's going to win the Big 12?
All right, this isn't the Heels have still got a lot of time in that game. They got a dozen minutes to go, trailing Clemson by 5, so that's an eternity.
Yeah, we've got to create some suspense here. We know Carolina's talented. They're supposed to win the game. We got to hope. Maybe there's a little upset, a little suspense.
I'll create suspense. Indiana, Minnesota's next. Comes through and he's fouled. And the smart move of this game is presented by Fidelity. No question about our smart move. Here comes the lead man. Little showtime at the United Center. And it's an obvious pass. An assist. 6 assists. Did you ever think it was a shot?
No.
It certainly didn't.
The Illinois substitution number 40, James on the scene.
And it fouls out.
Lukasic, 2 shots.
I think D. Brown at the next level would be a game changer. Change the dimension of the game with his speed. Both ends of the floor, disruptive at the defensive end of the floor, and then offensively. Breaking down defenses, grading for teammates. He is something else.
William, Ingram, D, Howe over there on the I mean, you can't even hear the coach screeching. That's how much in control they are in this game. Fluid. Freshman gave it up. Augustine missed outside. So Weber's given his reserves a lot of minutes. Saving his starters now for tomorrow in the semifinal. 61-44, 3:44 to go. Augustine fouled and he's on the free throw line. So Illinois will move on to the Big Ten tournament. They'll clean up their business here when we come back.
Force. Vernon Hamilton's going to get a 3. He's going to nail it. It's a 66-55 advantage for Clemson over Carolina. Meantime, Big 12, Oklahoma leading Missouri by 7. Bama by 6 over Ole Miss. A full half hour of game night follows the game you're watching. We'll keep you posted.
All right, Carl, and look who's keeping a close eye on the talent here. Danny Ainge, who runs the Boston Celtics, and as Coach Lavin pointed out, he's a young man who broke Digger Phelps' heart when he was the star at BYU.
Length of the court, bobbing and weaving through defenders.
That was the night.
Buzzer.
That was the night that Kevin O'Malley, then a CBS executive, said we can take the NCAA tournament and televise it all on the network. It was that play. I happened to be at a famous pub in New York City that night with Kevin.
Prophetic.
And, we were watching.
He was a prophet.
He was. There was a lot of credit for that. As Pruitt, there's the another one about the future. Sean Pruitt, he's out of Aurora, Illinois. I know that there have been questions about Weber's ability to recruit, and Pruitt is one he did get out of Chicago area. He's not the highest rated of the prospects to come out of it. So it's easy to say that about a veteran good team that Bill Self had recruited.
Trust me, this guy can recruit. You heard of Glenn Robinson, Brian Cardinal.
Good.
How about Southern Illinois being in the tournament, continuing to roll in the NCAA tournament? He built that program. He was the right-hand man of Gene Cady. Recruited Brad Miller, Brian Cardinal, Glenn Robinson, Fonzo Martin, going way back. How about guys like Scheffler?
Question answered. Steve Lavin.
I'll tell you what, he knows the Midwest as well as anybody because the 18 years at Purdue, he knows the back road, the high school coaches. He works so hard at recruiting, hands-on.
There's McBride. And speaking of Self, maybe his only mistake when he passed on Iguodala, who's now with the 76ers, and recruited McBride. That was an interesting story about that down in Champaign. As Jenkins went to scout Iguodala, he did not play well that night. I can't imagine what this Illinois team would have been like last year with Iguodala. And Pruitt in one. There's a good drop step down from the block. And let's take a look at the DirecTV game track. Northwestern held at 33%, turning it over 18 times. Career afternoon for Rashad. Darren Williams, 8 of the Illini assists in this game. They trailed only for 127. And you know, interesting about Illinois, they have not been behind by double digits the entire season. So I couldn't believe how many folks rushed to judgment after they lost one game by 1 point, last 6 seconds at Columbus. And I mean, 22 riders jump off the bandwagon. I mean, what am I missing about this game?
One blemish. You don't kick Halle Berry or Cindy Crawford to the curb. One blemish.
I don't think the fans are as uneasy as they were when they filed into this bid. Northwestern hit the first 3. Now the final 2 minutes. The Illini will march on to the semi. Oh, won't this group party tonight? Huh? Won't the pubs be full in Chicago?
Harry Carey.
Harry, you won't be able to get in there.
Harry Carey's allowed the Pac-10 Conference tournament on.
Yeah.
We go back there tonight. My goodness. Get some West Coast love here. St. Mary's Gales.
Mary's Gales. They going to make it?
So 25 wins. Beat Gonzaga. Beat Cal. Berkeley at Cal.
Be interesting. Coach Steve Lavin, the one-man lobby for West Coast basketball, doing a heck of a job. Let me tell you. Every town I go into, folks, he's looking for that Pac-10 package. He is a great ambassador for the conference as the Doyle puts it up in the Wildcats.
Tom Hansen, he's putting on retainer.
So we're sitting on a 20 now. For the last minute, margin is 20. Steal by the Wildcats. Behind the back, has shot, and in some quarters, that's a big field goal.
The Irishman, little dump off. Nice looking pass.
105 now. Sitting on an 18.
So there are coaches.
Carter's short on that shot. The shot's got it again.
Brent, their coaches would like to have one of all three of them is what makes them so special. So
Shot was fouled underneath.
to have one great point guard is what you need to be successful. To have two is unusual. To have three is unheard of on the same team. And that's what Noodles had 97. Bibby, Simon, and Terry. And they also had Dickerson. Very similar attacks, that 97 Arizona team and this Illini team. Interchangeable parts. They attack the three-point line, spread the court, use dribble penetration, speed, quickness. The difference is that at the end of the season and made their run, beating 3 #1 seeds on the way to the national title. This Illinois team's been hot out of the gates all the way through the season.
17-point margin now as a shot with 23 points, 9 rebounds. Both are career highs. Final half minute. Shot clock not turned off. And offensive foul is called against Illinois. Northwestern ball, 3 seconds. Then Scott in and Hashad off to gets an ovation as he goes over to the bench. And checking in is Pat Kennedy's son. So Joe Kennedy. The Kennedy family was out in Missoula with Pops last year. Grizz having qualified for the field. Kick to the outside. In and out with 16. Bring it down. And they'll just run the final seconds out. This is going to be a 17-point margin. Illinois advances, eliminating Northwestern by 17 points, 68-51. Coach Weber shaking hands with the Northwestern players. They await the winner of our next game, which is so vital for both. Minnesota has a better resume should they lose it. Indiana, according to everybody, all of the experts say they've got to win the game against Minnesota to give themselves a chance. And that'll be coming up next here on ESPN. D. Brown, the Big Ten Player of the Year. And we check in with Aaron.
All right, guys. Coach, back in the win column, a place you're more used to. How do you think your team responded?
Well, we didn't shoot free throws very well. That was obvious. Yeah, I think we played pretty well. You know, we put pretty good pressure, turned them over, and made enough plays. Hopefully, it's kind of a good jump start into tomorrow into the NCAA tournament.
Besides the free throws, any concerns at all as you progress the rest of the way?
I don't think so. It's all it's mental now. Being ready to play. You know, preparation, being cut in, all that stuff, and staying healthy. So, and that's always a fear. But, you know, they enjoy playing here. So, hopefully we'll put on a good show tomorrow.
You get set to play the winner of the Indiana-Minnesota game. How do you match up with those two teams, Coach?
Dan Munson's done a tremendous job. They've really overachieved. Coach Davis has really got them playing, a young team playing well down the stretch. I think both of them deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. And, you know, each one, Greer's very good for Minnesota, very athletic. The big kid Hagan is good inside. And Indiana has great athletes, good freshmen, White inside, Baden outside, and they both cause us some problems. There's no doubt about it.
Everyone that jumped off the bandwagon can get back on. Coach, thanks.
51, Illinois advances. And for Steve Lyman, Aaron Andrews, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brent Musburger. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. Log on and see who are the latest teams on or off the bubble. Showtime for the Illini. Now we take you to Carl Ravage and Doug Gottlieb in the studio. Take it away.
Brent and Steve, thank you very much. Nice half-hour edition here of College Game.
All right, Brian, North Carolina.